we want to solve these three equations in three unknowns using the Gaussian elimination method. So what we'll do, first of all, what I want you to do is pause the video, write them down, and go ahead and make an attempt at solving them. Okay, finished? Alright, what we want to do is write these equations down in matrix form, leaving out the x, y, z, and equal signs. So I have 1x, 2y, 4z, vertical line to separate the left and right hand side of the equations, and we have 23 on the right. So we have 2x, 6y, negative 1z, and 16 on the right. We have 5x, negative 1y, 3z, and 14. So these are the coefficients of x, y, and z. Alright? Now remember, our aim is to get 0 here, 0 here, and 0 here. We want to reduce them down to row echelon form. Write it in row echelon form, where echelon means a rank, such as saying the upper echelons of society, and we have different amounts of work done on each row. One row will have two variables eliminated. When we have 0 here, x will be eliminated. When we have 0 here, y will be eliminated, but we still have z. When we have 0 here, x will be eliminated, but y and z would be the same. And then in row 1, none of them would be eliminated. Alright? So, here, just as in solving using the normal elimination method, we have each row representing an equation. And remember, you can always multiply an equation by a number or divide it, and you get another equation which is valid. You can always add or subtract two equations, so you get another equation which is valid. Alright? Now what we want, the strategy, is to get 0 here and 0 here. Right? Because if we get 0 and 0 here, no matter what we multiply row 2 and row 3 by, these will be zeros. And no matter how many times we add row 2 and 3, these will always remain zeros. Alright? Let's try and get a 0 here first. How can we get a 0 here? What we could do is multiply this by 5. Get a 5, rewrite them as a new matrix. You have a 5 up here and a 5 down here. Subtract these and you get a 0 here. But remember, they are really representing equations. So anything you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other side as well. So, what we do, and remember, as you go along, as I go from one step to another, if you tried to do it before and did not move from one step to another, once I give you the clue, the hint about what to do next, I want you to pause the video and go ahead and move to the next step. Alright? In fact, you should pause the video right now, write down the question, and completely solve it and get x, y, and z. So go ahead. Okay, finished? What did you get for x, y, and z? Let's see something here now. Let's just draw the brackets on the line. What we're going to do is have row 1 multiply by 5 to give us our new row 1. So we have 5 1 5, 2 5s 10, 4 5 20, 23 by 5, It was 115. Alright. And we write back our row 2 and row 3. 2, 6, negative 1, 16. 5, negative 1, 3, 14. Okay. The next thing we want to do, keep row 1 and 2 as they are. So we write back our row 1 is 5, 10, 20, 115. Our row 2 is 2, 6, negative 1, 16. Then let row 3, row 1 minus row 3 to lead to our new row 3. So here, 5 minus 5 is 0. See that? 10 minus negative 1, same as 10 plus 1, is 11. Then 20 minus 3 is 17. What about 115 minus 14? Going to be 1. 101. Yeah. Oh boy. So it's 101 there. So you have that. Alright, so we have a 0 there. Nice. Our next aim is to get a 0 above it. Because remember, you can always multiply this by a number and this will always be 0. But guess what? When you add it, the 0 to 2, you get 2. And when you add the 0 to 5 or any other number, you get that number. Add the 0 to 5, you get 5. Add the 0 to any other number there, the 0 will disappear. We don't want to lose the 0. So for now, don't touch row 3. Keep it safe. Try and get a 0 here in row 2. So what's going to happen here now? Write row 3. We don't want to change it. Now, what we can do is take row 1 and say row 1 times 2. Just like when you have equation 1 times 2 and so on. Row 1 times 2, 2, 5 will give you a 10 up here. And then row 2 times 5 will give you what? A 10 down here. And when you subtract them, 10 minus 10 is 0, you can get a 0 here. In the next matrix, you're going to get 0 here. You see that? So, let's continue. Row 1 times 2 will lead to our new row 1. Row 2 times 5 will lead to our new row 3. My gosh, where are 3? Row 2. Alright? So, row 1 times 2. 2, 5 is 10. 2 tens, 20. 2 by 20, 40. 2 by 115, 230. Okay? So you see that? Multiply everything up here by 2. Then multiply everything down here by 5. 5 2s, 10. 5, 6 gives us 30. 5 by negative 1 gives us negative 5. 5 by 16 gives us 80. Alright, good. So there we have that. Now, the thing is, what do we do at the next stage? As I said, row 3 is safe. You don't want to trouble row 3 right now because you have this 0 there and you don't want to lose it. We want to keep row 1 as it is for now. So that's row 1. We want a 0 right here. So how do we do it? 10 minus 10 will give you 0. So we're going to say row 1 minus row 2 gives us our new row 2. 10 minus 10 is 0. 20 minus 30 is what? Negative 10. And 4 minus negative 5. No, 40 minus negative 5 is the same as 40 plus 5 gives you 45, right? Then 230 minus 80 will give you 150. So there we have our zeros, one above the other. Now we can interfere with row 2 and 3 because these zeros are now safe. No matter what number you multiply row 2 or row 3 by, this will remain 0, this will remain 0. And when you add row 2 and row 3 or subtract, this will remain 0 and this will remain 0. Alright? So let's keep row 1 as it is. 10, 20, 40, 230. Alright. What you can do is, suppose you multiply row 2 by 11. You're going to get negative 110 here. And if you multiply row 3 by 10, you're going to get 110 here. Now this negative 110 and this positive 110, you just add them and you get a 0. And put it in row 2. That is the strategy here. So, let's say row 2 will be multiplied by 11 and will lead to our new row 2. So 11 0 is 0. 11 times negative 10 is negative 110. 11 times 45 will be 495. And 11 times 150 will be 1650. Okay? After that, negative 10 times 0. Or we could just multiply by 10 too, but since this is negative 10, let's do that now. I wonder if we should multiply by 10. If we multiply by negative 10, you will have a lot of negatives there, and there's a chance you might make a mistake by skipping over one of the negatives. So let's multiply by 10. Row 3 times 10 will lead to our new row 3. So 10 0 is 0. 10 by 11 is 110. 10 times 17 is 170. 10 times 101 is 10110. Alright. Now, this is what you want to deal with now. So let's write our next matrix inline. We want to keep row 1 as it is. Let's keep row 2 as it is. But row 3 now, we have a 0 here. We want a 0 here. So how are we going to get that 0? Well, you can subtract row 2 and 3. You have to add. So row 2 plus row 3 will lead to our new row 3. See that? You have to add them. Because if you say negative 110 minus 110, that's negative 220. You want 0, not negative 220. But negative 110 plus 110 gives you 0. So we add them. Negative 110 plus 110 is 0. Then 495 plus 170 gives us 665. See that? And then 1650 plus 1010 gives us 2660. Alright. So now we have it the way we want. Alright? Now, can't scroll down here anymore, so let me just copy all of this thing here. And I want to move it. Oh no. Where should I move it? How do I deal with this now? Let me copy. Alright. And then paste. I pasted it, but where is it? Oh, it's still down here. My. Software is giving me a little trouble here. Alright, let me just write it up there now. 10, 20, 40, 230. Instead of trying to copy it, giving me a warm time. So what we have is 10 what again? 10, 20, 40, 230. 10, 20, 40, 230. Then copy the thing in what? Alright, this was what? 110, 0, 110, 495, 0, negative 110, 495, 1650, negative 110, 495, so 0, negative 110, 495, and then 1650, yeah, it's 1650. We have 1650, and then after that 0, 0, so like 665, so it's 0, 0, 665. It look a bit mixed up though, you know. Is it 655? Let us just test it out again. We had 495 plus 170, yeah, and then here it's 1650 plus 1010, 2660. Yeah, the next number is 2660. So we have our 2660 here. Alright. Now, we have some big numbers here. We could very well divide out each row by a number. Like we could divide row 1 by 10. Divide row 2 by 5 and row 3 by 5 or some other number. But let's keep it as it is for now. Let's rewrite everything back in equation form. So it is 10x plus 20y plus 40z equal to 30. Alright? So you have that. Then you have 0, we don't have to write the 0x, minus 110y plus 495z equals 1650. And then 0x and 0y, can leave those out. And we have our 665z equal 2660. Okay. So what's going to happen here now? We can find z. Z, normally write a little line, horizontal line across my z, so that you don't confuse it for 2. Alright. So 2660 over 665. What is that? You should get 4. So you have z equal 4. We want to know x equal, y equal, z equal. We know that z is equal to 4 already. Now that we know that z is 4, we can look at this and deal with it. Right? Negative 110 y plus 495 z equal 1650. But 495 by z means 495 by 4, because z is 4. So what we have is, let me rewrite this properly. Y. So we have negative 110y plus then 495 times 4 will give us 1980 equals 1650. So negative 110y equals 1650 minus 1980. What is 1650 minus 1980? It is negative 330. So therefore, y would be negative 330 over negative 110, which is 3, right? So y is 3. So now we know that x, that z is 4, y is 3. What we're going to do now, look at the 10x plus 20y plus 40z equal 230. 10x plus 20y plus 40z equal 230. Just to make sure, 10x, 20y, 40z, 230. Okay, good. Alright. We don't really have to deal with these big numbers. As I said, we could have divided everything by 10 from the row in order to get smaller numbers. But let's do that now. We didn't do it before, but let's do it now. Divide by 10, you get x plus, divide by 10 is 2y, plus, when you divide by 10 here is 4z equal 23. Alright. It looks a lot less stressful on the brain with the smaller numbers. So y is 3, z is 4. Y is 3, z is 4. So x plus 2y is 2 times 3 plus 4z is 4 times 4 equal 23. So x plus 2, 3, 6 plus 16 equal 23. 16 and 6 is what? 22. X plus 22 equals 23. You know that 1 plus 22 is 23. Or you could say x equals 23 minus 22 giving you 1. Right? So x is 1. So there you have your answer. X equal 1, y equal 3, z equal 4.